Chapter 67 The World is Advanced, The Descendants of Dagon. The Emergence of the Second Continent, p. You are listening at novelfull.audio. But at this time, everyone heard a voice in their ears. In order to promote the fusion of the two worlds and prevent them from being infected by viruses and curses from other worlds. All creatures are given new talents, which can defend against tens of thousands of toxins, and can devour alien energy to prevent distortion. Give all believers 500 kinds of divine arts, and believers can comprehend different divine arts in turn according to their level. Don't slack off. One after another law transforms all creatures, including zombies. Some are like Roshan zombies. It's hard to come back on its own. An extremely terrifying corpse poison has accumulated on his body, but at this time, I felt that there was a hellfire in my abdomen, and the fat was burning. Drive out a lot of black corpse poison. Even the tyrant was squeezed out of a layer of black light toxin, and his body reflected a trace of immortal light. It seems to have been tempered by the fire of hell. I evolved into a gold intermediate. That the zombie tyrant looked at his hands in shock. I only felt that in my brain, the killing impulse that was influenced by genes disappeared. The brain hole has never been clearer. This is the method of the world master. Follow the law. Transform the entire world. Creatures. Alice, who saw the transformation of her evil eyes and silver wings with her own eyes, was shocked. I was extremely curious about Subai's research on how to crack the virus so quickly, and in her eyes, this natural talent not only can prevent zombie virus in the future, violent viruses in other worlds, and even illusory negative damage such as curses, can be cut off by 99% of their power. Even more amazing, even her body was warm. There is a strange illusory melting pot swimming in the body, dispelling the dead energy. Thank you, my Lord. Praise the Father. Inside the underground labyrinth, the beholder elders shouted, long live. Other high-level beholders, evil eyes, etc., have a look of worship in their eyes. Many evil eyes radiate the light of pious faith. There are already dozens of true believers. They sacrificed before, suffering from not being able to use the power of faith, but at this time, as long as you worship the Father God, you will naturally get feedback on your beliefs. There are many more magical models in the brain. It's exquisite. Design. The complete range makes the beholders dazzled. Not just underground dinosaurs, even Quatu people and unicorns are also devout believers. 23. All according to their preferences, try to learn magic. In this way, the sacrifices of all ethnic groups are on the right track. Some clansmen who are not good at fighting can also be transferred to auxiliary occupations such as priests. The biggest change brought about by this divine revelation, naturally, the zombies can integrate into this world. We are free. Many spiritual zombies have flexible heads and actively communicate with indigenous creatures, although there are only 2,000 people. But the zombies brought brand new technology to Tianyuan realm, also taught many behemoths to grow a plant called meat potatoes. This thing was the staple food of their world in the past. Not only the yield is high, but it is also rich in nutrients and has a meaty texture. It can greatly slow down the supply and demand of the giant beasts for food. Plus a full range of advanced technology inputs such as fertilizer, steel, and irrigation technology. The dinosaur man had a great explosion of productivity. There has been a marked increase in the number of groups, and more. There are also many probabilities of giving birth to all kinds of geniuses. Subai continued to observe for a while. Aboriginal people have called zombies corpses. Zombies are also finding their own way of multiplying in the new world. There are clansmen who died due to various accidents. If you don't want to be buried, can be transformed by them. A new consciousness is born in the body, a person's use for 2 lifetimes. It is to maximize efficiency. Actually, our genes are still defective. If we really become a new race, at least we must maintain self-reproduction. Alice was not content with this achievement. When will the 2 zombies combine to produce a new, intelligent little zombie? That's the real zombie race. Whether it is Tianyuanji, all ethnic groups have entered a stage of rapid development. As long as the dividends of the zombie world are not exhausted, development will not stop. Seeing the zombies merge into it, Subai also felt relieved. Looking further into the distance, I looked into the depths of the sea shrouded in mist. The remains after digesting the zombie world. What surprises will it give me? 99. There the power of the world is intensely constructing something. Alice, my favor is born to live in the universe. In the next period of time, you will lead everyone to explore the surroundings of the lower heaven and origin realm. 5. Be careful of that luminous star and the meteorite belt in the middle. Danger comes from the starry sky. After digesting the zombie world, explore the universe. Before leaving, Subai issued an oracle to Alice. Follow your instructions, Alice responded carefully in a temple. The more she studied the Tianyuan realm, the more curious she became about Subai. Is he relying on such a small world to defeat himself? Alice will be busy next time, from exploring the universe, down to people's livelihood planting. In many respects, she is required to personally lead people to teach. The unicorns and dinosaurs fought more than each other, but the civilization itself was very rudimentary. Alice sometimes doubts herself. I'm just like this, lost to a group of wild beasts. Adjust the time flow rate so that it is not too fast. Subai's consciousness exited Shanghai, browsing the jar again at the creator's house. After a little bit of information about other world masters, Subai fell into a deep sleep. The next day, he was awakened by a breath of relief. I'm upgrading again. Feeling the inexhaustible strength of his lower arms, Subai was full of surprise. It seems that last night, Tianyuanji absorbed a lot of world power. Feed back to myself again. He quickly opened the world main panel. In the column of the world, there is a striking red exclamation mark. Your world has grown to the peak of the first order, and all the conditions have been met, and it can be upgraded to a second-order medium-sized world. It's finally here. Subai clenched his fist and said excitedly, the peak of the first-order world is 500 kilometers. In the ultimate leap, you can step into the second-order world. At that time, stronger and more potential creatures can also be bred, and the world can also give birth to intermediate energy, and even advanced energy. The origin of the world can also withstand more powerhouses. It won't happen like that before. Many subordinates are stuck in the embarrassing stage of the peak of bronze. On the panel, there was another unexpected gain that made his eyes shine. Faith value, 8,000. Last night, it should have been less than a dozen years in the Tianyuan realm, and so much faith has been collected. If you add another 2,000, you can condense a drop of divine power, and the magic of divine power, he experienced it himself. There are also no master power purchases in the creator's house. A drop is worth 10,000 contribution points, or 10 billion. It wasn't until he rummaged through the world journal that he discovered the reason for the outbreak of faith. First of all, because of his miracles, many ordinary believers can use simple healing and purification techniques to help make life easier. Subtly, faith in him naturally deepened. The people brought by Alice have a mature religious management system, build temples and wonders all over the place, and organize believers to worship every week. Alice made herself the archbishop, coordinating the religious affairs of all the ethnic groups. The leaders of the various ethnic groups are both bishops. The beholder, who had always called himself a high priest, was a little unconvinced and downgraded. But who makes other people's systems and management methods a dimensionality? Reduction attack. Can it greatly speed up the spread of the gospel? Other believers can only accept it, in addition to being refurbished overnight, after consuming the war bonus, such as the King of Dinosaurs and the Elder Beholder have all evolved to high-grade silver, or even top-tier silver. The most striking is naturally the two number 1 generals under Ma Bai's seat. The Lord of the Seas and Godzilla are all awake. A tentacle with a length of hundreds of meters fluttered in the depths of the sea, immersed in the sea with magical power, causing a monstrous storm. Affected by its breath, the Kwatoa, who already had 10,000 warriors, were all mutated. The purifying ability of fish gills is greatly enhanced. The fish scale armor gave birth to inexplicable runes. The 1,000 Kwatu who are often guarded by the Lord of the Four Seas have the same mutation as the Flame Dragon Knight, and the top of the volcano, Godzilla, who has grown to 80 meters, is also roaring. Both are energetic. You can advance to gold level at any time. Only, at present, the Tianyuan realm, which is still in the first order, cannot withstand the breakthrough of the two beasts. Creator, I implore you to lead us to evolve into a new future. Under Alice's organization, an unprecedented grand sacrifice began, sacrifice to heaven and earth, sacrifice to the Lord of the world. Intelligent beings in cities all over the land pray silently. Even the savage beasts in the wild were crawling for a while. Feel the seriousness of the world. On the waves of the ocean, the Kwatoa are in their own way, singing and dancing on the waves, offering sacrifices to the Lord of the Four Seas and the Father of all things, underwater temple. At the same time, the ceremony of the fish people is indispensable. Faith value on Subai's panel, the numbers keep jumping, in the blink of an eye, it is approaching the 10,000 mark. Ding dong! You have collected all 10,000 faith power. Is it condensed into a drop of divine power? Cohesion. 3.5 Subai's consciousness held the divine tree scepter and entered the Tianyuan realm. He raised his scepter high and said aloud, "The world is advanced." The source of the world that had been waiting for a long time suddenly turned. The outer barrier of the world continues to thicken. A stronger world power blesses him. The square earth expands at a speed visible to the naked eye. 510,520,600,700. In a blink of an eye, the area is more than half. There are many ore veins, oil fields and other treasures generated in the depths of the earth. Many dinosaur people were also found. The aura content in the air increased significantly. All creatures are baptized in the promotion of the world. Not only life is extended, but potential is also increased. More lucky ones broke through on the spot. At the same time, two roars that had long been unable to hold back, the Lord of the Four Seas and Godzilla, have evolved to gold level at the same time. Deep sea. An infinitely spreading, tentacle-entangled shadow shrouded in the shadows of the entire ocean, declare that it is the master of the sea. The original dark complexion of the Lord of the Four Seas has more strange lines. The smooth head and back have shark-like fins. The big mouth full of fangs keeps growing. The two main tentacles became thicker, like a tornado. At the tip, like the dragon's claws, sharp claws grow. A spiritual pollution that cannot be controlled by oneself spreads around. The first to bear the brunt is the 1,000 guards Kotayu, mutated into gray-green, with a fish head and a human body, frog-like creature with webbed limbs. Important log, the bloodline of the Lord of the Four Seas has been purified to 10%, showing the true name of inheritance, Dagon's distant descendant. The advanced level is, Deep Sea Gazer. A total of 1,000 servants and dependents infected by its breath, Deep Diver. It turned out to be the bloodline of that outer god. 3.5 Subai was surprised and delighted, both happy. Only 10% bloodline purity can be so powerful. I am afraid it can be judged as an epic bloodline, but sadly, the stronger it is, the more it will be targeted by the outer gods. Insufficient protection and meteorites fall from the sky. Someone ate it ahead of time as a dish. Dagon is one of the famous old rulers. Much stronger than the average outer god, just leaking 1/10,000 of its power is enough for the Lord of the Four Seas to endure. Not to mention, behind Dagon, or the most well-known existence, Kemalu. Top of the volcano, not to be outdone, Godzilla burns fire. The surrounding rocks burned uncontrollably. Where it stands, comes with a field of high-temperature radiation. Godzilla and the Lord of the Seas, it seems that one represents the ocean and the other represents lava, are two extremes, yet it is extremely powerful. Just at the gold level, it already has its own domain force field. Zombie white completely faded from it. The complexion becomes dark and rough. It completely got rid of childishness and became the king of monsters. Important log, Zombie Godzilla devoured a large number of crystal cores, and has evolved into a growth stage after sleeping. And due to X antibodies, G cells mutated in the body. The innate health furnace 227 is fused with the nuclear reactor, making it immune to any alien energy invasion. Zombie Godzilla has evolved to gold level, Diablo. It is good. Seeing the appearance of the two beasts, Subai felt extremely happy. Even Alice, Dinosaur Man and others were full of joy. As for tyrants and silver-winged zombies, they were even more shocked. Both belong to golden creatures, but the tyrant thinks Dark Godzilla can kill himself with 1 foot. The changes in the world have not stopped progress with success. The fog shrouded in the depths of the sea also dissipated one by one, a brand new piece with an area of 300 kilometers. The whole body is stone gray, and there are steel wrecks, and the strange continent of the city's ruins is revealed. That's the remains of our world. Yes. It's our wasteland style. The world has a second continent. But I see it as lifeless and full of radiation. The corpses were the first to notice something was wrong. Alice takes people across the sea and wants to explore new lands. important log, the Tianyuan world has evolved into a second-order world, and a new continent was born by digesting the zombie world. It turned out to be the remains of the zombie world. Su Bai was also surprised. Holding a scepter in hand, he flew to the new world to observe in person. I saw that the world of zombies and the landmark buildings of the 5 cities were still vaguely preserved on the earth, such as various high-rise buildings, office buildings, damaged deep water ports, broken Golden Gate Bridge, etc. The rules are also a bit different from native land. There is a sense of abandonment and eccentricity between heaven and earth. Even the earth is dead and full of radiation, not a single green grass. On the contrary, there are various kinds of distorted blood vines, blood-sucking grasses, piranhas and other plants growing savagely. This is the last legacy of my hometown. The belated Alice et al. Silently looked at this gray continent. They know, the zombie world has completely disappeared in the sea of stars. The source was integrated into the Tianyuan realm. Only the undigested wreckage gathered here. The old does not go, the new does not come. That Su Bai showed his appearance, said to Alice, I can feel the residual consciousness of this continent. You see, some of the basic zombies that were recovered before were revived here. Alice, Tyrant, Silver Wing and others looked in the direction he pointed. I saw the ruins of a high-rise building. Familiar rotting figures wandered slowly. They are ragged and purposeless, like ghosts, wandering forever in this dead continent. I didn't expect to see them again. Several corpse leaders had mixed feelings. From now on, this place will be called Ash Continent. Your corpse tribe can return to this place. You can also exile sinners here, or use it as a training ground. After carefully comprehending the rules of this land, Su Bai suddenly smiled and said, I can feel that the consciousness of those dead ordinary zombies are sleeping deep in the core of the earth. As long as there is the power of the world, they can be resurrected infinitely. 35. He suddenly thought of a brilliant solution. Later when exploring the Jedi. Is it possible to let the zombies here act as cannon fodder? Most intelligent zombies have no interest in returning to the Ashland.